English Literature Paper 1 Section A, Shakespeare, Macbeth. In this video we will look at Section A of Paper 1. This is the Shakespeare section, and for you that means answering questions on Macbeth. Specifically in this video we will look at the format of the question, how to answer the extract question, how to answer the whole play question, advice on using quotations, and a few final tips. For the play, you will answer two questions. For this video, we will use the questions currently shown on screen. A short extract from the play will be printed on the page. You will be asked to write about the audience's response to the events in the extract. There is also a separate question on the play as a whole. You will have 60 minutes in total to complete both answers. 20 minutes for the extract question, 40 minutes for the whole play question. A reminder of these timings will be printed above the questions. Notice also that up to 5 marks are awarded for accurate spelling, punctuation and grammar. You should spend up to 5 minutes making notes on the extract. In this example, the extract comes near the end of the play, as Macbeth prepares to face Malcolm's army and learns about his wife's death. Read the question carefully and notice the focus on the audience response. This will always be the focus of the extract question. Read through the extract and highlight anything you find interesting, dramatic, or likely to affect the audience's view of Macbeth. At this stage, you are simply looking for useful evidence. Add any extra thoughts, patterns, or overall effects you notice that are relevant to the question. Pay particular attention to the words Shakespeare uses to show Macbeth's thoughts and feelings. Keep returning to the focus of the question. Overall, how is the audience meant to respond to Macbeth in these lines? The notes on screen are a little fuller and much neater than yours need to be because they are just examples. It is best to begin by briefly explaining the context, such as where the extract appears in the play and why this moment is important. Then, work your way through the extract using your highlighted evidence and linking it to points about Macbeth and the audience's possible reactions. You should already be familiar with this approach from the reading sections of the English language papers. It is also a useful approach for other literature questions. There is no need to use every piece of evidence you highlighted, but try to comment on the beginning, middle, and end of the extract. The ending of the extract is often especially important because the exam board has deliberately chosen that point to stop the passage. In this case, the extract ends with Macbeth's soliloquy about the meaninglessness of life. Finishing with an overview of the extract is an effective way to conclude this part of your answer. Hopefully this example answer makes it clear how to write about the extract. Because the extract is printed for you, there is no excuse for not using supporting quotations regularly and analysing Shakespeare's language closely. Here are some final reminders for the extract question. Keep referring to how an audience might react. You can talk about how a modern audience may react differently to the original Shakespearean audience. Because you are writing about the rest of the play from memory, you are less likely to go into as much detail as you can with the extract. However, you should still aim to be as precise and specific as possible. Start with your first impressions of Lady Macbeth near the beginning of the play, and then work chronologically through the plot. At this stage, you are simply brainstorming, so do not worry about whether you will use every idea in your final answer. You are refreshing your memory and collecting possible points. Try to cover as much of the play as possible, including the beginning, middle and end. It may help to think about a character before Duncan's murder and then afterwards, as I've done here. If possible, include some quotations or specific references. We will look at quotations later in the video. Again, it does not matter if you do not use them all, you are just preparing ideas. Finally, return to the focus of the question and summarise what Shakespeare seems to suggest about Lady Macbeth across the play as a whole, linking this to his overall intentions. You are now ready to write your answer. The next 30 minutes should be spent writing about Lady Macbeth across the whole play. It is usually best to do this chronologically, beginning with her first appearance on stage. Read through the examples on screen, which show the different stages of Lady Macbeth's character development. Here is the complete answer collected together. You can read it along with the extract analysis by clicking on the link below this video. There are many other points you could make. However, you only have a maximum of 40 minutes for the whole play question, so focus on the parts of the play you understand best and feel most confident discussing. Even so, try to cover as much of the play as possible. There are different ways to use quotations. The add-on quotation, do not write "I know this because the play says," just use a colon. It is much quicker and sounds better. The aside using brackets or dashes. The integrated quotation. This is the best method because it helps your writing flow naturally and makes it seem as though you are exploring the text confidently. These methods also work for all literature questions and for the reading sections of the language papers. Do not worry too much about remembering quotations perfectly. Examiners are usually quite forgiving of small mistakes. All the examples shown on screen would be accepted. If you cannot remember a quotation, or if memorizing quotations is difficult for you, remember that specific references to events or moments in the play can be just as effective. Here are two example points using quotations, followed by the same points using specific references instead. Both would receive equal credit. The important thing is to support your ideas with clear and precise evidence from the play. This helps to A. Explain your point clearly, and B. Make your argument more convincing. Leave 5 minutes at the end to check your work carefully. Make sure your points are clear, relevant, and supported by evidence. Because spelling, punctuation and grammar are marked, check these carefully too. At the very least, make sure all characters' names begin with a capital letter and that you have spelled Shakespeare's surname correctly. It is on the exam paper after all. Your extract answer will probably be about 1 page long, while the whole play answer may be around 2 pages, depending on your handwriting. However, do not spend more than 60 minutes on these questions altogether. Divide your time like this. Extract question, up to 5 minutes planning and 15 minutes writing. Whole play question, up to 5 minutes planning and 30 minutes writing. Final checking, 5 minutes. Shakespeare is a very clever writer, and there's often more than one possible interpretation of his characters and ideas. Exploring other reasonable interpretations can result in higher marks. Finally, think carefully and aim to show the depth and range of your understanding. You have worked hard, so use this opportunity to show what you can do. Good luck and take care.